Your kid's viral video just went cha-ching, but who's cashing in? Illinois has some thoughts. Welcome back to Beyond the Bill Number, where we explore the nuances of legislative changes, their impact, and, let's be honest, the occasional wild ride that lawmaking can be. Today, we're going to dive into a new frontier of child labor law that just might blow your mind. This summer, we've dove into policy regulating our online spaces, from Project 2025 and the FCC to the Kids Online Safety Act and the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act 2.0. We've talked about digital identity management, data privacy, and even digital advocacy. But this week, we're taking a look at Illinois' approach to protecting kids online in a very different way from KOSA and COPA 2.0 when it comes to kidfluencers and their parents. Yes, today we are talking about a bill that's making waves in the world of sharenting. Let's talk about the term sharenting, because honestly, that word already tells you a lot about the problem. It's basically when parents overshare content about their kids online. Sharenting. Think baby milestone photos, toddler tantrums, school plays, that one time they threw spaghetti at the wall, all plastered across the internet for their friends, family, and 10,000 of their closest Instagram followers to see. And sure, it's cute, it's wholesome, until it's not. And the whole debate around sharenting isn't just about the cringeworthy baby pics haunting your kids' future dating lives. It's a lot deeper. You've got privacy issues. Imagine a 5-year-old blissfully unaware that the Playdate video is racking up views faster than a Netflix special. Or security concerns, like maybe it isn't the best idea to share your kid's exact school location and schedule and their favorite ice cream spot with 100,000 strangers. And then there's this whole digital footprint thing. When something goes online, it stays online. And these kids aren't old enough to say, "Mom, maybe let's keep that potty training saga between us, okay?" But sharenting goes into hyperdrive when your toddler transitions from a kid who likes toys and is cute to a kid who is paid thousands of dollars by toy companies to unbox them on YouTube. Which brings us to the word kidfluencers and a whole new world. Kidfluencers? Exactly what they sound like. They're children who are racking up followers faster than you can say sponsored content. Think under 16-year-olds on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and beyond, showing everything from the latest toys to playing Minecraft to the coolest or cringiest family vlogs. And they're not just getting likes, these kids are pulling in some serious cash. We're talking about tens of thousands of dollars for a single sponsored post. Not bad for someone who still has a bedtime, right? But this is where things are getting murky. Who controls the money? Who controls the account? Who decides on what is shared and when? Spoiler alert, it is usually the parents. And some of these parents are treating their kids more like a get-rich-quick scheme than, well, their kids. We can't really dive into this without addressing some of the darker sides of sharenting. For example, in 2019, a mother behind the Fantastic Adventures channel was accused of physically abusing her 7 adopted children, forcing them to perform for the videos. She withheld food, restricted bathroom access, and even pepper sprayed them because of some subpar performances. Pretty crazy, right? And there's also many stories that highlight how people approach having families and how they are parenting in their families and the risk that these kids and the stars of these parents' content go through. There's even a viral story about an influencer family who canceled their adoption because the child couldn't appear in social media for a year due to the rules of their home country. Now, before you think this is just a modern issue and what are we doing here, let's hop into our time machine and head back to the 1930s. Enter Jackie Coogan. Ever heard of him? Well, he was a famous child actor known for playing opposite Charlie Chaplin in The Kid. He was a pretty successful child star, but by the time he reached adulthood, he found out that his parents had burned through all of the cash that he had earned. This little scandal created Coogan's Law, which requires parents of kids in entertainment to set aside a portion of the child's earnings in a trust that they can then access when they're 18. Does this sound familiar? Well, history does like to repeat itself, and this time it is not child actors on film sets, it's little influencers on your For You page. Fast forward to August last year, Illinois passed Senate Bill 1782, a law designed to protect, you guessed it, kidfluencers. Under this law, if your kid appears in at least 30% of a video that you post and that video makes money, they are entitled to a slice of that cash pie. It also will work on a sliding scale. So if your kid was in 50% of the video, they are entitled to 25% of the earnings. If they are the star of the show, they should be able to pocket 50% of that. If you've got multiple kiddos and they're sharing the spotlight, they split the share evenly. Parents now have to keep records of their kids' screen time in the videos, and the earnings must go into a trust that the kids can access when they turn 18. Very similar to the entertainment world that we were previously familiar with before the world of influencing. So, the days of vlogger parents parenting all the cash while Junior entertains the masses are hopefully coming to an end in Illinois. Believe it or not, this whole thing was started by a 13-year-old advocate named Shreya Nalamathu, who wrote a letter last year to her state senator and bill sponsor, Democrat Dave Kohler, urging him to consider legislation to protect these young influencers. Kids these days are actually truly incredible. But what about the rest of the world? Illinois is not alone in trying to figure out this problem. France passed a similar law back in 2020, entitling kid influencers under 16 to a slice of their earnings, and a crucial right that sounds kind of like something out of a sci-fi film, the right to be forgotten. Essentially, if these kids want old content wiped when they get older, they're allowed to request it. Meanwhile, back in the US, Washington and California have also considered laws to protect young influencers, but it's not all sunshine and child labor protections. Some states, like Iowa and Arkansas, are actually loosening their child labor laws in other industries. But back to Illinois. This bill is really pioneering an approach to digital child labor, and it's drawing a line in the sand saying that if your kid is the talent, they should get a payout. And honestly, it's about time. But is this enough? Now, that's always the million-dollar question. Will this law fix everything? It's a start, but the conversations around parenting and kid influencers, like all of our conversations around regulation of online spaces, especially when it comes to kids, is far from over. What about the emotional and psychological toll that this has on kids? How about their ability to control their digital footprint as they grow older? There's also a glaring issue that parents can still post non-monetized content of their kids all day long, no paycheck required, and no paycheck to try to incentivize behavior and protections that we're wanting for these kids. And the original bill also had this right to be forgotten, but it got nixed because apparently it is too hard to enforce in the world of the internet here in the US. So the content stays online for now. But Illinois' Senate Bill 1782 is definitely a groundbreaking move protecting kid influencers, and it's clear that we're just scratching the surface in this digital age dilemma. Thanks so much for tuning in this week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll catch you next time.